Okay, good morning, everyone. In previous session, we have discussed about the various types of services in Android, right? So basically, you can divide it into three different parts. First is a foreground service, second one is a background service, and third one is the bound service. Okay, right? Uh, the difference between these three, if I briefly explain that the first one, foreground service, is user can see that what is happening, what is going on. Okay. Second one, the background service that will run in a background, either it's in undefined time, right, till the task is completed. Okay. And a third one is a bound services, right? So in this kind of services, you can say that it works as a client server architecture. Suppose if client sends the request to the server, right? So here our activity or other application is behaves as a client, and your services behaves as a server. Okay. So your service is in running state until it unbound itself or by the users. Okay. And after that it will ends destroyed, right? So yesterday we have seen the example of a foreground and a background service, right? So today we start with the example of bound service, right? And after that we'll see what is the Android broadcast receivers, right? So here I have created one application. So in this application, this is a very simple application that generates the random number, right? So first of all, let me execute the code and see what is happening so you can get the idea, right? So our AVD is going to start, and after that, once the application is installed, then it will execute it, right? Okay, so this is our application. Here, very simple UI we have, bound service example, and here one text view is there. So whenever I click on this particular button, that is a request number button, it will generate one random number. See, right? So whenever I click on this, so it will generate a random number. Okay, see, it is between 10,000, right? 0 to 10,000. Okay, so you can see that. Now let's see how this particular example is working. So for that, you can see over here, I am requesting to generate a random number, right? So button is there. From that activity, my button is bound to that service, and that service is responsible to return the particular random number. So first of all, I need to design this particular UI, right? It's a very simple UI. I'm just only uh, dealing with this particular request number and text view. So you can design this by your own. Now, the main thing over here is, first of all, I need to create one service class, right? So I'm giving a name to that is a bounded service .java. And yesterday we saw how to create a service class, right? So if you are not aware, then let me again demonstrate that here. You can just go to the service and create a service class, and here you can provide the name and then click on a finish. Then this kind of one Java file is going to be added, right? Now here we have yesterday discussed about the particular life cycle of unbounded service and bounded services, right? So in unbounded service, there is no onbind event or onbind function will be there. So in our previous two examples, here we are returning null. We were returning null. But as this is a bound service, so we need to implement onBind, and over here our onBind function will return mbinder, that is our particular one variable, right? So this particular reference is going to call local bound service function, and it is implemented over here, right? And it is returning a bound service dot this. Okay, so what is the job of this particular thing? So here in our service class, we are going to generate a random number. So if you want to generate a random number, then this is a method. First of all, you have to implement this random number object. Okay, and with the random number object, you can use next integer method, and here you can provide the particular number up to which you want to generate the random number. So I want to generate a random number between 0 to 10,000. Okay, so and it is only creating the integer numbers. So it's a one line code to generate the random number, right? The rest of the thing is our binding portion. So here it returns the communication channel to the services, right? That is the job of this particular onBind function. On unbind, it returns the true. Okay. Now let's jump into the main activity.java file, how you can call this bound service and how you can bound it. So here, the main thing is you have to first of all identify the particular objects. So here we are going to identify the objects. Two objects we have, two widgets we have. One is a button, another one is the text view. So with the use of find view by ID, you can identify that, right? Now, what I want to perform, whenever I click on a button, then I want to perform something. I want to perform something. So here, as usual, our same method, button object dot, we are going to use set on click listener, new view on click listener, and after that it will generate the on click method. Now whenever I want to generate the particular number, so first of all what I need to perform, so here I need to store that value in one variable, sorry, that is known as the random number variable, and with the use of value of function I am fetching that, and with the use of it I'm going to display that in a text view. So these two line, what it will do, from this first line it will, here I have created the object of this bound service, so I can use the functions of that particular Java class. So object dot get random number. So where this get random number function is there, so here get random number, generate random number function is there, right? So from here I can call that with the use of object of bound service class. Okay, and after fetching that random number, I'm storing it in one variable. As this is our integer variable, I need to convert it into this. So value of function is used. You have studied value of function in Java, right? So with the use of it, it will set the text in a text view. Okay, now as we have created a service, so we need to start the service, right? So here, this particular piece of code is responsible for that. So compulsory, I need to override the onStart method. In onStart method, I am starting the service, right? And I'm passing the intent, and you know how you can pass the intent, current context, get application context, or you can use this, comma, where you want to pass the target class. So bound service, bounded service dot class file. So that is our this particular Java file, right? After that, I need to create the intent object, and with that, I need to bind my service. So you can bind your service with the particular application component using bind service method, right? So for that, you need to pass the intent object because we want to connect it. And what I want to connect, I want to connect this particular service connection object, right? So from where I have created this. So for service connection class. So here is my service connection object. You can see that in service connection object, there are two possibilities will be there. Either my service is got disconnected or my service got connected. So if my service is dot disconnected, then it will return a false. Okay. And if my service is connected, then what it will do, it will use this bound service dot local bound service class. And with the use of this, it will attach my service to it. So my binder dot get service and my flag will object will return true. So with the use of this piece of code, what you are doing, you are connecting your service to the particular component. Okay, right? So I hope this particular code is now understandable little bit. So that I have passed over here the whole object, comma, the bind auto create. So what is the job of this? So it automatically creates the service as long as the binding exists. So here the main thing is uh, particular dependent on binding. So until that your particular, you can say, component, application component is bounded with the service, till that your service is going to be executed, otherwise it returns the false. Are we clear with this, right? So this is a very simple code to demonstrate the bound service. See, now onwards, the length of code and the complexity of the code is going to be increasing, right? So you have to do lots of work by yourself and you have to focus very carefully. So this is the particular example of bound service. Okay, you can create this particular thing. And whenever you are creating a services, so remember one thing, you have to register your services in Android manifest file. So in our Android manifest file, you can see this particular, you can say, highlighted area, that this particular service, you have to provide the name of that service. So what is our service name? It is a bounded service. So you just need to provide dot bounded service over here. Okay. So that particular thing you have to remember whenever you are working with the services. In some of the services, you need to take the permission, right? So that permission also you can do over here by with the use of user permissions, and you have to provide a name. Suppose if I'm working with the airplane mode or that kind of thing which is related with the network, then I need to add this kind of you can say permission, right? So this way you can you can take a permission, you can register permission in Android manifest file. This is just for example. So if you want to create an application like your airplane mode is toggle between on and off, then you at the same time you just need to take the permission, right? You need to register the permission. So you can use this particular line. So whenever the example will come, I will explain to you, right? So this is about the bounded services. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay. Now let's move on to the our next topic, and it is known as the Android broadcast receiver. Right. So first of all, let's understand what is the meaning of broadcast receiver. So broadcast receiver is a component that will allow an Android system or other apps to deliver events to the app, like sending a low battery message, or a screen is turned off the message to the app, whatever. right? Your battery is this many percentage. Sometimes you get this particular low battery mode, and that kind of notification you are getting. Okay, so that kind of examples are known as the broadcast receivers. So the app can also initiate the broadcast to let other applications know that required data available in a device to use it. This is also very important. Okay, sometimes another application also broadcasts this. Okay, I finished my work, now you provide this data. That kind of stuff also can happen. Generally we use intent. So you can see intent is very you can say useful thing over here, right, in each and every application. So we can use intent to deliver broadcast events to other apps. Okay, and broadcast receivers use a status bar notifications, right? It provides the notifications that okay, this particular work is finished, now you do this, to let the other user know that broadcast event occurs. Now, how you can implement that? So in Android, broadcast receiver is implemented as a subclass of broadcast receiver, and each broadcast is delivered as an intent object, delivered as an intent object, right? So suppose say for one example, if you send one SMS, right, and if that particular SMS contains the OTP, so at that same time you need to fetch the OTP from that message content. Okay, and you need to verify that. So suppose if I want to generate that kind of application, then I can use these broadcast receivers. Okay, so here some of the important methods we have to send the broadcast. So here is a send ordered broadcast, send broadcast, load broadcast manager dot send broadcast. So these kind of methods are usually developers are using to send the broadcast. And to make the notification, some of the inbuilt properties we have, that boot is completed. Sometimes you are reboot your particular mobile. Sometimes if you plug in your charger, right, so it notifies the charging powers. Whenever you remove the charger, then it gets power disconnected, battery is low, sometimes it battery is okay, reboot. Okay, so this kind of particular inbuilt properties you can use to send the particular broadcast, right? So let's see one example how you can use this broadcast receiver and what kind of applications you can implement with the use of broadcast receiver. So there are lots of applications you can uh, implement with the use of broadcast receivers. Many a times you require that. So one simple example I have created, that OTP verification. Okay, so according to our requirement, you require some another important classes, right? So first of all, let me show you the user interface, how this application works. Here, one edit text is there. So whenever I'm sending one message, so from that message, only OTP will be fetched over here, right? So nowadays, whenever you are working on something, you are registering something, right, yourself, and whenever the OTP requires, then OTP will be sent to you soon. That message will come, and after that, when OTP comes, so in auto suggestion, the number is automatically fetched from the message. So you don't need to type that OTP number. You just click on that auto suggestion and the number will be there in your edit text directly wherever you require. So same way here, let's see how this application works. So first of all, I need to send one message, and from that message, I'm going to fetch the OTP and that will be displayed in edit text. So here you can see that how you can achieve this kind of functionality. So from the emulator, you can click on this over here, and you can just go to the phone, and uh, here is the, I'm sending one message. Here is the OTP, right? And here, suppose say OTP is 1020, right? And this is your default number which is there. We are not bothered about this, right? But whenever you can see, I'm going to send this particular message. So one message is comes over here like this. Here is the OTP and 1020, and directly the OTP will be over here. And after that, I can click on the verify button and my OTP will be matched, right? So if I want to perform this kind of task, then what should I do, right? So you just need to go to this particular designer section, and you can see this only edit text is there, right? So rest of the thing we are going to perform with the use of code. Now let's go to the main activity.java. So here again, we are going to fetch the text in edit text. So first of all, we need to identify that control with the use of this method find view by ID, and I have given the ID that edit text under the OTP. After that, here we are using some inbuilt things. We are using a particular sending a message. We are using inbuilt facilities. So for that, we required a permission, right? So how you can check the permission that? So first of all, I'm requiring a permission. So that particular application I have implemented many a times whenever I was coding that. So right now it is not asking me for the permission, but whenever you execute this application first time, then it will ask you for the permission. You want whether you want to allow or not, allow or deny, right? So that kind of permission, how you can check, how you can provide. Sometimes you have experienced that whenever you are using some microphone or some camera in some of the third party application, then it will allow for the access, allow or deny. So that kind of permissions, how you can check. So here I'm simply creating one function that is request permissions, and in that I'm going to use a context compact class, right? And in that check cell permission function will be there. So here for what I want to check, so this is my main activity, and for which permission for what I'm taking the permission to read the SMS. So see here I have not written anything for that particular opening that SMS and all that. I'm going to open that into from the emulator. So I need to take the permission from the phone, not equal to permission that package manager and request a permission new string. This is a code. You just directly just copy paste this code and it will work for you. It is same for that. And here you can provide a request code. So some kind you can get the particular error message with the code. So that kind of stuff is there, right? Sometimes you get 404 not found on a website. So that particular code is assigned to that number of error for the debugging purpose. So that is the use of it. Okay. Once I'm allowing the permission, once I allow the permission, then what I need to do, I need to send the OTP. So receive OTP object, this is my class, right? Dot send OTP. So here on receive send OTP, here I have, so it is edit text. It will be drop down in that, but how? So for that on receive message, after receiving a message, how I can fetch the OTP only from that text, right? Because the message I have written is, here is your OTP colon 1020. So from that particular statement, I only want the number, right? So what I can do, I have used separator as a column. So let's jump onto the code. So for that, I'm just using the SMS message inbuilt class, and you have to just write as it is, that telephony.sms.intent.get message from intent, and you have to pass the intent. You have to write same line as it is. Now I'm writing a logic for fetching OTP only. So for integer I equal to 0 till what? Till up to what I need to go, I need to retrieve SMS length dot is less than I, right? Or I plus plus. Then I'm sending that, I'm storing that particular values in SMS message. Now in my SMS message body, I'm fetching that body, and from the body part, I'm splitting. So here I have set splitting criteria as a colon. So as you have noticed that after writing a message, here is your OTP, I have put colon, and then I have applied 1020. So this code, what it will do, it will split my message whenever it finds the colon. And after that, immediately at the ones location, so whenever I split, so 0 and 1, because I have used array over here. So at the one position, whatever thing is will be there, that will be stored in get OTP variable. And then I'm going to set the text as a get OTP. Right? So this way you can fetch the OTP from the message according to your developer's written criteria. I hope this will be clear to all of you guys, and it is very useful thing. It is very useful thing, right? Day to day you are experiencing this. That's why I took this example. Okay.